Param Shanti. Let's examine the heavy, daily reality of physical existence. For most of us, navigating daily life involves a constant, underlying friction. It is the exhaustion that settles into the bones after a long day, the stress of professional obligations, and the literal discomfort of moving a physical frame through the world. We experience this friction because of our deep identification with our physical bodies, a state known in Hindi as Dehbhaan, or body consciousness. When we believe we are only our physical form, we absorb every physical impact. Take a look at this kind of workload. In the late 1980s, Bapuji Dashrath Bhai Patel spent his days managing contested, highly detailed income tax cases. It was a physically demanding environment requiring constant analysis of dense income tax tribunal dossiers. Yet his internal experience of that intense workload was different. Instead of mental exhaustion, the work moved with unusual clarity. Insights and solutions seemed to arise on their own, as though understanding were arriving directly. How does an individual shed the mandatory friction of the modern world and move through it like a living form of light? Contested income tax tribunals are difficult environments. Navigating them normally requires intense analytical friction, combing through complex financial laws and anticipating aggressive legal arguments. Before stepping into the courtroom, Bapuji would establish a settled inner state. He would sit quietly and hold a quiet inner intention, anchoring himself in soul consciousness. This practice defines the Karma Yogi, an individual whose internal detachment allows them to navigate worldly external actions with greater precision. This diagram illustrates the mechanical difference in his workflow. While normal intellectual effort involves untangling complex paths of logic on the left, his process bypassed that strain. Solutions arrived directly, as if the understanding itself were doing the work. Cognitive clarity in high-stakes environments is reached when the work is supported by an established soul-conscious state, rather than intellectual effort alone. This internal state also changed his experience of the physical world. Imagine walking outside in Gujarat at 2 in the afternoon, during peak summer heat. That level of heat typically exacts a biological toll. It drains energy, demands rapid hydration, and forces acute physical distress. Stepping into that environment, Bapuji felt no discomfort. The heat seemed unable to affect him. The mechanical explanation is the aura. This charged energy field emanates from an established soul, forming a defined boundary layer. It acts as an active physical barrier. Harsh environmental conditions strike this vibrating boundary and are deflected, unable to penetrate the physical body. When genuine soul consciousness is maintained, the environment is forced to respond to the aura of the individual, rather than the individual suffering the environment. This escalation reached its peak during Bapuji's Sunday sessions. He would enter his meditation room precisely at 8 in the morning. He remained there for 12 continuous hours of deep stillness, sustained by only a single sip of water. Internally, a mechanical process occurs. As the soul's experience reaches its peak depth, Dehbhaan, the ordinary sense of being identified with the body, withdraws. The immediate physical consequence became clear by 8 in the evening. Emerging from the room, Bapuji could neither drive a car nor walk in his usual way. He would sit outside the room and wait until enough body awareness returned before heading home. This temporary withdrawal of motor function served as confirmation. The inner experience had genuinely exceeded the ordinary boundaries of physical life. This progression shows a shift from effortless clarity in complex labor to immunity to harsh environments, and finally, separation from physical form. These experiences indicate that soul consciousness is not a passive relaxation technique, but an active state of mechanical being. Looking at these tethers, it prompts a question. How much of your own daily stress is simply a symptom of being tethered to Dehbhaan? The life of a Karma Yogi suggests that the heavy friction of the modern world becomes optional once the soul is firmly established.